it is going to be their applications. In all these aspects, would like to came to know that. So the mining is a process of extraction for the valuable minerals from the earth crust. So whatever the different type of ore minerals, so whatever the economic minerals, again they are broadly classified into several types of minerals. So the metallic minerals, fossil fuels, industrial materials. So different type of materials depends upon the purpose of usage and based on the material which is going to be used in the industry. All these aspects we'd like to learn in the previous class. And today we are going to discuss about the different type of terminology in mining geology, especially as we came to know that there are two types of mining methods broadly. They are open cast mine and underground mine. So here, though in the open cast mines, which are preferred for the extraction of mine or extraction of materials from the by making a pitch on the open area or open surface area. All these matters which has been very clearly seen while we are operating the technology, whatever the technology which is adopted. So the open cast mine is a technology to extract the material to make a pit on the open ground or on the surface of the earth. So here, let us see some terminology here. I'm going to present in my screen share. Yeah, this is a underground mining terminology. Yesterday, we are also discussed about the different type of terminology in the open cast mines. And today it is underground mining terminology. So the underground mining or subsurface mining. So as we came to know that there are two types of mining methods, open cast mine and underground mine. Open cast mine also known as surface mining or open pit mining. Whereas coming to underground mining are also called as subsurface mining. Surface mining means open cast mine. Subsurface mining means underground mine. So the underground mine for the odd rock mining, mostly where it has been seen very clearly, the underground technology, which has been the underground mines are the mines of rock mining, which has refers to various underground mining techniques used to excavate hard materials. So it is a mining, underground mining is a mining which refers to various underground mining techniques. The various underground mining techniques used to excavate the hard materials from the subsurface is known as underground mining or surface mining. Shaft, an excavation connecting surface and mine workings. A shaft is an excavation connecting surfaces. So whatever the material we are extracted, so this extracted material to excavation connecting to surface. So this extracted material which is going to connecting the surface and mine workings. So what are the works which are going on in the underground? And these excavations connecting to the surface and mine working areas. And types of shafts, a vertical shaft, inclined shaft, blind shaft, and compound shaft, and production shaft, and service shaft. These are the types of shaft. So it means shaft is a connection. It is a connection to the surface from the working area. So this is a connection. This is a connection between a surface to the where the mine is working, where the work is going on. So this is shaft in which there are several types of shafts are there. Vertical shaft, almost vertical, and inclined shaft having some angle, and shaft and blind shaft, compound shaft, and production shaft, and service shaft. These are the different different types of shafts are present in the mine areas. And hanging wall. So the country rock occurring above the vein, or ore body or seam is known as hanging wall. So the country rock occurring above the vein or above the ore body or the seam is known as hanging wall. Whatever the country rock nothing but a surrounding rocks. Country rock nothing but a surrounding rock. So hanging wall is a rock which is surrounded by the ore body. So if the country rock it is above the ore body or above the vein is known as hanging wall. In coal mining it is called as roof. In coal mining it is called as roof. Whereas in the coal mining, this country rock, in the place of country rock or this name in the coal mining, mostly you can use it as a roof. And foot wall, it is vice versa to the hanging wall. So the country rock occurring below the vein, the country rock occurring below the vein or ore body or seam is known as a foot wall. Whereas in coal mining it is called as floor. So as we are called as the terms in using in the coal mines, roof and floor. The country rock which is above the ore body in coal seams are called as roof. If it is below the ore body, you can call it as floor. And ore body, a more or less solid mass of ore that may be consist of low grade as well as high grade, or and that is of different characters from the adjoining rock. That is called ore body. It's a more or less solid mass of ore. More or less a solid mass of ore is called ore body. And lode is a mineralized zone. Lode is a mineralized zone. And mineral deposit. A mineral deposit is a deposit which is an accumulation of mineral. Mineral deposit is a mineral deposit is a deposit which is an accumulation of a mineral in an usually high concentration. In an usually high concentration is known as the mineral deposit. So when we can say the deposit, so when it is in large scale, the huge mass, so which an accumulation. The deposit is a accumulation of minerals, accumulation of economic minerals in an unusually high concentration. Unusually high concentration, lump sum amount, large scale amount of materials. When they are accumulated, when there takes place accumulations, then we can call it as a mineral deposit. A coal seam. A coal seam is a stratum or layer of coal. A seam is a layer or stratum of a coal. We can call it as a coal seam. Then audit. So an audit is an entrance to an underground mine, which is horizontal or nearly horizontal, by which the miners can be entered, drained of water, ventilated, and minerals extracted at the lowest convenient level. Audits are also used to explore for mineral veins. So generally, the audit it can entrance. The audit is an entrance to an underground mine. It is a entrance to underground mine, which is horizontal or nearly horizontal, which is horizontal or nearly horizontal, by which the miners can be entered, a drained of water, ventilated. So this is audit. And tunnel, as we know, a tunnel is an underground passageway, a completely enclosed except for openings for entrance and exit, commonly at each end. So as we know, the tunnels, it is a underground passage. Both the ends are open to the surface. That is tunnel. And a drill, any cutting tool used for boring holes and underground. These are the drill. And levels is a horizontal passage which is parallel to the strike. And foot wall drive and angle wall drive and stone drift and raise and drive draft and gallery and winch. All these are the different terminology which has given. And where it has been stone drift and raise, a secondary or tertiary inclined opening is called as raise. And gallery, a horizontal or nearly horizontal underground passage, either natural or artificial, you can call it as gallery. And ore bin is a store of mined ore. Ore bin is a store of mined ore at the bottom of shaft or pit head is called ore bin. And chute is a lip or small channel shaped projection at the bottom of. And the stope and all these are the a cross cut and essay width and stoping width and ventilation and mine pass and sub level and supports. All these are the different type of terminology where you can use in the underground mines. So these terms. So what is shaft? Shaft is a connection. These are the different questions where you can see by following the above conceptions. Then, so here, the coming to second part, second unit, methods of breaking the rocks. Methods of breaking the rocks. So in this topic, we would like to learn what are the major optics of methods of breaking the rocks in the introduction. And these types of methods of breaking of the rocks, mostly the hydraulic slitting, hydraulic breaker, boring machine, a physical machinery cutting, and electrical equipment, and a drill and blast methods, and explosives. And these are the things which we are going to complete in the methods of breaking the rocks. So what type of methods which are going to use to break the rocks? So major objective after studying this unit, you should be able to learn, you should be able to answer after studying this unit. After studying this unit, you should be able to learn to explain the hydraulic splitting, describe the boring machines, and design explosives. You can able to answer such type of questions. So the coming to the introduction of methods of breaking of rocks. For excavation of minerals, for excavation of minerals and rocks from either surface or subsurface need to break the materials. So any excavation of minerals or rocks from either surface or subsurface need to break the materials, especially the mineral deposits. So methods of breaking, what the methods which are going to use to break the rocks. So the process of excavation of a mineral, the process of excavation of a mineral or rock is needed to either in the surface or subsurface mines need to break the materials. So need to break the materials, especially for mineral deposits. The breaking depends upon a specifications of industry where these minerals can be utilized during the process of unwanted and sized materials should not be generated. Sometimes the fine sized dust may not be utilized in industries based on the physical properties. We have to use a different methods for breaking the rocks. So various mining methods are there during the process of unwanted size material. So there are certain specifications for breaking depends on the industry where these minerals or rocks can be utilized. So these breaking methods or breaking is depends upon the specification of industry where these minerals can be utilized. So what are the minerals and where it can be utilized and type of industry and what are the specifications you are going to manufacture in the industry. All these things would like to be very essential while you are going to break down, while you are going to before break down the materials. So here generally sometimes the fine sized dust may not be utilized in industries. Based on the physical properties, we have to use the different methods for breaking the rocks. So mostly in the modern days, applications of explosives in blasting as a predominant method to break rocks. The modern technology, now in the modern mining methods. So application of explosives in blasting. So applications of explosives. Explosive means విస్ఫోటనం అంటాం పగలగొట్టడం. So applications of explosions in blasting is the most predominant method to break the rocks. In this method, rock breaking efficiency. In this method, rock breaking efficiency is high. The cost is relatively low. In this method, rock breaking efficiency is high. The cost is relatively low. So in this method, the rock breaking efficiency is high and the cost is relatively low, but its resulting vibration, possible fly rock, and toxic gas production makes it a dangerous method from the safety standpoint. From the safety standpoint, by using non-explosive methods, there are several advantages such as a little vibration, no fly rock, no toxic gases, and high degree of safety, and these are the very much means the breaking of efficiency is high, whereas the cost is reliably or relatively very low. So because there are several advantages by using the blasting. Why? Because it is a safety standpoint, and little vibration we can get. There is no fly rack and no toxic gases, no toxic gases, and non-explosive methods. Mostly, it has been production to make it a dangerous method from the safety standpoint. By using a non-explosive methods, by using a non-explosive methods, there are several advantages. There are several advantages such as a little vibration and gases and high degrade. So by using non-explosive methods, if you're using non-explosive methods, there are several advantages such as a little vibration, no fly arc, and toxic gases and high degree of safety. So these methods are widely used in municipal engineering and road excavation and high risk mining, mountain quarrying, and complex environmental rock breaking projection. Some of the methods of applies a mechanical process and physical chemistry and electrical stimulus to be break the rocks. So non-explosive also very good advantage without harm to the any living being or environment. For breaking of rocks, mostly the particularly the breaking of rocks, mostly for where which is going to the modern mining technology. For breaking of rocks, particularly the rocks used as building materials. The rocks, breaks of rocks. For breaking of rocks, particularly in the case of rocks which are used for the building materials, the engineering and physical properties of rocks. The engineering and physical properties of rocks should be taken into consideration in addition to the other specification. In addition to the other specifications. So what are the methods of breaking? So hydraulic splitting. There are several types of methods for breaking of rocks. So in which the first one, hydraulic splitting. So hydraulic splitting machine is a widely used in stone mining, mostly which has a simple operation, high security, environmental protection, and economic advantages. So the hydraulic splitting machine consists of two parts: the splitter and the power stations. There is hydraulic machine, it has majorly two parts which are having. So in which two parts, splitter and the power station. The power station includes the pumping station, the hydraulic cylinder, the hydraulic pipe, and the control elements. The splitter is a wedge assembly with mechanical magnification to produce the longitudinal thrust into transverse thrust for breaking the rock. So this is hydraulic splitting, or this hydraulic splitting, it has a machine. It is widely used in the stone mining mostly. The hydraulic splitting machine rock breaking process is based on the rock hardness. The hydraulic splitting machine, it is going to use for the rocks for the based on the hardness, free surface rock, breaking degree, and the requirements of the direction of rock breaking and other conditions. Drilling with a drilling machine with a wedge with a wedge pressure into the rock may break the rock. The hydraulic splitting machine is mainly designed and manufactured with the principle that the tensile strength of the rock is much smaller than the compressive strength. Splitting machine used in quarries, some precious stone, rare ore mining, and a few other projections have a good economic benefits. So it means the methods of rock breaking by hydraulic splitting. So as we know, by hydraulic action or hydraulic machine is going to break down the rocks rocky materials in which there are two major parts which are having in this hydraulic machine. So widely which are going to be, one is the splitter and the power station. There are two parts we can see in the hydraulic machine. One is splitter and another one is power station. So here from the power station includes the pumping station. The power station includes the pumping station. So it means the hydraulic cylinder, the hydraulic pipe, and the control element. The splitter is a wedge assemblies. See, there are several types of the hydraulic splitting machine is mainly designed and manufactured with the a principle that the tensile strength of the rock is much smaller than the compressive strength. So the tensile strength of the rock is much smaller than the compressive strength. A splitting machine used in quarries, some precious stones, rare ore mining, and a few other projections they are seen very clearly. So here there are several types of methods which we are going to be seen very clearly. So here, whatever the hydraulic splitting machines which are very clearly to break the rocks by using the different type of rock methods. So here these hydraulic machines or hydraulic machine, mostly the hydraulic splitting method, which has been the tensile strength of rock. The tensile strength of a rock is much smaller than the compressive strength. The splitting of machine used in quarries, mostly the splitting of missions, mostly the splitting machine used in quarries, some precious stones, rare ore mining, and a few other projections have a good economic benefits. Then hydraulic breaker. So the hydraulic breaker is mainly used in the municipal engineering, housing demolition. So the hydraulic breaker, which is going to mainly used in the municipal engineering, housing demolition. So housing demolition means to spoil the constructed house. So most of the municipal engineering works are mostly used this hydraulic breaker. So they are going to to demolish the houses. So when the householders are to occupy the road and to start construction, and after the municipality engineers will come and check the distances. If they are occupied the road, then they are going to demolish by using the hydraulic breaker with the technician. So this is a municipal engineering and hydraulic breaker, and hammer noise is small. High security and flexibility is a better way to break the rock. The power source of the hydraulic breaker can be an excavator, loader, or pump station, which is mainly used to the a hammer with a power source to reciprocate the broken rock. So these are the different types of ways which are going to break down the rocks. So in the past days, the hammer is a piston type repeated below. So as you know, hammer, while drilling a bore well, you can see the hammer in the end of the rod or beginning of the rod. You can see the hammer, they are inserted, they are attached to the rods to the hammer. And this hammer, it can be while rotating. Yes, a piston type repeated blow and now the use of hydraulic pressure can drive eccentric gear rotation and certification force and then drive the broken hammer movement. So the impact frequency, it can reach up to 1600 to 2100 times per minute. This high frequency hydraulic hammer is more efficient and energy saving. It appears the hydraulic hammer is an effective instrument or breaking the rocks. I will see this is the hydraulic breaker. I will see this. Yeah, this is very good diagram. So these diagrams are showing. So these diagrams are showing hydraulic breaker, how we are going to breaking the rocks by using. So these are the different types of methods if you are going to break the rock. So, so here we can see, so by using these methods, hydraulic breaker, we can break the rocks. So this is the hydraulic breaker. So by make a hole to make it into individual parts according to requirement or according to needs, so we can break the rock by. This is very good picture. So the pressure. Next, boring machine. So boring machine is a kind of machinery and equipment which is mainly used for a tunnel excavation and coal mining. So boring machine mostly used for the tunnel excavation. If you want to construct a tunnel, then you are going to use for the boring machine, or you can mostly you can call it as excavation and coal mining. Tunnel excavation and coal mining is using bore machines. So this noise is less, the dust is less. So for this machine, the noise is less as well as the dust is also less. Safe and efficient, the boring machines. So what is the hydraulic breaker and physical chemistry of cutting and the static expansion? I will see the static expansion of the physical chemistry of cutting. So the physical chemistry of cutting, the static expansion. So static expansion agent is mainly used for mining rock and reinforced concrete rupture. This method will not have no fly stone, no vibration, no noise of rock breaking is affected by a climate. A climate rock breaking efficiency is low. So the main component is lime. So the same is the use the hydraulic reaction to release the heat, the product of calcium hydroxide, the volume of expansion of lime on the potato. So as we know, the materials are portable or it may be heavy to transport from one place to another place or one mine site to another mine to start. So their expansion and relying on the hole to produce expansion pressure to break the rock or concrete. According to experiments, the expansion pressure required 30 to 40 MPa for the a general shaft and rock and produce require should about required up to 10 to 20 million MPa million for it has been given. So the static expansion agent is a non-explosive pollution. It is also a non-explosive pollution-free breaking agent. It does not belong to the flammable and explosive goods. The safety is relatively high, however, due to the low breaking effect of expansion agent. Cracking time is longer. And carbon dioxide cracker. So it is a low temperature blasting equipment. In the blasting process, it is without fire. Safety is relatively high. Can be widely used in coal mining and other projects. It mainly uses the equipment and it has been placed in the various aspects. Mostly the volume of rock which has been concrete will get rupture. So the carbon dioxide cracker is a low temperature blasting equipment. It is a equipment which can where it can be utilized at a very low temperatures. In blasting process is a it, it is blasting process it is without fire. So safety relatively high can widely used in a coal mining, quarry and other projects. It mainly uses the liquid carbon dioxide heat in other activities. In all the aspects, we would like to learn different types of braking methods. According to the experiment of carbon dioxide cracker, with the carbon dioxide crackers, the volume will be increased to 6,000 times and the diffusion thus uh, the radius is up to 10 meters or more in local mines because carbon dioxide has the role of suppressing a blasting and into the retardation of these things. So as we know, this is each and every mission and how it is functioning. Those things we'd like to learn in a broad way. Then coming to metal burners. Metal burners. As we know, the metal burners are generally used metal oxides such as magnesium oxide, such as copper oxide, ferric oxide, etc. Our strong oxides such as potassium chlorate, the strong oxidants, mostly the potassium chalcorite, chlorite, and potassium, etc. And metal reducing agents such as aluminum powder, and magnesium powder, etc. To accordance with a certain percentage and conditions. As we know, the metal burner blasting method is mainly uses the reactions in the rapid deflation conditions. So this is a metal burner and coming to electrical equipment. So in plasma blasting method, electrical equipment in plasma blasting method, the electrical energy is used to excite the electrolyte solution into a plasma so that the material is oscillating vigorously to produce high temperature and high pressure, forming ion cluster movements and rapidly forming rocks are then utilized in all aspects where it is going to be seen for the baking of rocks. Then isocratic blasting operations is simple, the specific operations which are mostly useful for the various industries. Then the drill and blast methods. Drill and blast methods. As we know, the drill and blast method is mostly used method for the excavation throughout the world. This method can be used in all types of rocks and the mineral cost. So it may be the excavation used method for excavation throughout the world. So this method can be used in all types of rocks and the initial cost is lower than the mechanical method like TBM. And this tunneling method involves the use of explosives. So here, generally the drill and what you can call it as the blast methods mostly compared with the bored tunneling by tunnel boring mission and blasting finally is going to reach. So in all aspects, it is going to be utilized useful in the various aspects. So the typical cycle of excavation of blasting is preferred in the following steps: drilling blast holes and loading them with explosives. Detonating the blast followed by ventilation to remove the fumes. So this is a diagram figure 2.1 is showing a comparison of various non-explosive blasting characteristics. Various non-explosive. Explosive means yes, you are just they are not allowed. So that the most of the things which has comes under a comparison of various non-explosive blasting operations, non-explosive blasting operations. So here the type of hydraulic method and theory, hydraulic methods mostly, which has been a mechanical broken. The table it has been very clearly shows types and economy windows, application slow scope, and advantages and what's the iron. So iron is a tuberculosis where this is happened by diseases in the various mines. So here the mechanical broken process in the hydraulic splitting mission economy zone in the normal, hydraulic breaker in the normal, and boring machine is the higher. So economy zone in the part of application scope, mines, precious stones, and so on. Municipal engineering, environment, ice, dew, mountain, and oceans. So these are the different types of kinds of materials which are present in the below the earth crust. Yeah, here I will see this is several things. The typical cycle of excavation by blasting is preferred in the following steps. So drilling, blasting holes and loading them in the explosives generally. Then after removal of the blasted rock. So how we are going to operate? How we are going to operating these mining machines by using this equipment. So removal of the blasted rock and scaling crown and walls to remove loosened pieces of rock, installing initial ground support, advantage rail, ventilation and utilities. And advantages by reading and knowing these things. So what are the major advantages? Potential environment impacts. The potential environment impacts on terms of noise, dust, and visual sensitive recipes are which are very quite same in the way it has been possibilities are there, the mining methods of advantages, and compared with the cut and over approach, the disturbances mostly the tupo, the local traffic and associated with the environment impacts will be much reduced. So blasting would significantly reduce the duration of vibration. So the vibration level would be higher compared with the board tunneling. And what are the disadvantages by these activities? A potential hazard associated with the establishment of temporary magazine site for overnight storage of explosives shall be addressed through avoiding a populated areas in the site selection process. So this is the various methods, the methods of breaking of rocks, the methods of breaking of rocks. Mostly in this, we have a few types of breaking methods. In this, the first one is mostly we can say what you can call it as hydraulic splitting methods, and hydraulic breaker and boring machine and physical chemistry of cutting methods. So these are the major one, three types: hydraulic splitting and boring machine, and as well as hydraulic breaker, hydraulic splitting, hydraulic breaker, and boring machine. These are the major methods for blasting of the mine area to excavate the materials from the earth crust. And physical chemistry of cutting by static expansion, a carbon dioxide cracker, and metal burners, and electrical equipments, and other drill and blast methods are the physical parameters to here. Then major advantages, and these are the disadvantages, and explosives, which are the material, the mining explosives are the substances. The explosives are the substances or material which detonate to produce a high intensity shock wave and large volumes of gas which being confined in a hole expand rapidly, entering existing minor cracks in the rocks. So the explosives are the substances or materials which are going to use to detonate to produce high intensity shock waves. So gunpowder or a black powder was the first generation. Gunpowder or black powder was the first generation of explosives used in all applications. It is very low powered product, still used in specialized situations such as a dimension stone, a production of nitroglycerin based explosives which are going to be used in the modern technology. Then model examination questions will come right, like write about the intensity of explosives, discuss about the metal burners, how metal burners, and what is hydraulic splitting and gel explosives, which are mostly comes under from this topic. Where you can see the running material. So in which the hydraulic missions or hydraulic splitting or hydraulic breaker or machine boring, all these are the different type of equipments where we can use to excavation of material from the either underground or techniques or either open cast techniques, which are mostly used to excavation of the materials from the mining areas or mine areas. So these are the mostly used techniques or the methods which are going to use the expose the material or to break the material accordingly. So this is your mission. Yeah. So then coming to open cast mining methods. The open cast mining methods mostly we can use for this. There are in this the open cast mining method majorly. After studying this unit, you should able to learn about the explained. You can able to explain the mining terminology and describe the open cast mining methods and explain the aqueous methods. So open cast mining or surface mining or open pit mining is done by removing surface vegetation, dirt, and if any necessary layers of bedrock in order to reach buried ore deposits. The surface mining is a process of extraction of minerals. The surface mining is a process of extraction of minerals by removal of overburden, the rock or waste material which is lying on the material or mineral or ore body to be mined. So surface mining is also known as open pit mine or open cast mine and a strip mining. All are similar. So the open cast mining terminal, mostly the overburden. So overburden is a material which lies over the ore body. The stripping ratio refers to the amount of waste or overburden that must be removed to release a given ore quantity. And seam is a stratum or layer where is a coal or mineral that is economically viable. A seam is a stratum or layer of a coal or mineral or rock that is economically viable. A bed or a distinct layer of vein of rock in other layers of rock which has been seen. And placer mineral deposits of, for example, the heavy mineral placer deposits is defined as the alluvial or aeolian placer deposits. Different types of the depends upon the various methods where you are going to be used for the transportation of river materials and deposited usually at points along the floodplain of river or alluvial. The alluvial, which are mostly the material which are still at or near the points of its formation, and the colluvial minerals such as a gold, tin, and platinum, etc. The placer deposits can also be defined as a mineral deposits formed by the process of a mechanical concentration of minerals particles from weathered debris. So the placer deposits are found by the mechanical concentration deposits or mechanical separation. So mechanical concentration is it depends upon the criteria of a natural gravity separation from heavy metals from the light metals. So this is the open cast mining methods and mechanical excavation methods and open pit mining methods, mostly which has been seen very clearly, the open cast mines. Okay. So in this open cast mines, mostly we would like to use there are several types of technology which you are going to be used in all the aspect where we are going to be use the different type of techniques which are going to applied to excavation of material from the even open cast mine or surface mines. So which are very nearer to the earth surface. So in which the extraction of material, the extraction of economic material or economic valuable material from the earth crust by removing the overburden. So we need to first remove the overburden to start the mine or to start the to extract the material. So when we remove the overburden or the material which is waste which lies above the ore body. So first we need to remove that material, then we enter into the ore body. Then the blasting methods and explosive methods we are going to use to extract that ore body from the open cast mine. Okay. Yeah, this is open cast mining methods. Yeah, my class is over. Thank you.